What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel and check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to talk about these latest reports that LeBron James could possibly be trying to team up with again with Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving, right? And so most people think that LeBron teaming up with Kyrie and Anthony Davis is because LeBron James want to win, which that could be part of it, but I don't think that that's his main motivation, right? I think that LeBron's main motivation is money and relevance, right? Remember the Lakers, like if the Lakers would have went ahead with that deal was over $50 million, and so now LeBron James, if he signed for 1 year at the league minimum, he looking at about $6 million. So that's a big drop off. And as far as leverage, like what LeBron James have left to leverage, I think is the fact that he can do a retirement tour. And I think the best place for him to do the retirement tour is in Cleveland because he have a connection, more of a connection with Cleveland than he do any other team that that is on the list. As far as like would it be Miami? He have a slight connection, but the bigger connection is with Cleveland, right? Ohio is his home state. So now reports are coming out that LeBron James want to team back up with these guys, right? And like I said, it's more so about money and relevance than it is LeBron James want, wanting to win. So what I think, in my opinion, what LeBron James is going to try to do, he's going to try to get a 2 year deal, right? And what a 2 year deal, I think, will give LeBron James more money because it's a longer contract. And then that's the year that I think the 25th year, I think they'll be able to market it as his 25th year and also his retirement tour. So that's what I think is going to come down the pipe, right? But Scat was talking about this situation with Kyrie and Anthony Davis and some of the other options that he possibly have, right, or moves that he can make. So what I want to do is I want to play the audio from Scat Attack, and then I want to come back and react to it.
Well, as the 2026 LeBron James indecision continues to limp on, we are getting some more clarity, perhaps, as to why this is taking so damn long. Of course, because it is LeBron needs more help. Yes, one of the biggest battle cries of all of the jock sniffers and bootlickers throughout the years is that LeBron James just simply hasn't, and generally never has enough help. That is, despite the fact he's played with 8 different players that have made an NBA All-Star designation while playing alongside LeBron James. And that is despite the fact that he has several teams who are showing allegedly interest in bringing on the self-proclaimed king that have a pretty stacked roster or at least an elite all-NBA caliber player already in place. I mean, take the Philadelphia 76ers, for example. Tyrese Maxey is an ascending superstar. He was third team All-NBA last year. He was top 5 league-wide in NBA scoring. In my estimation, he was a fringe second team All-NBA performer last season. They also have, when he can manage to get himself on the floor, Joel Embiid, a former league MVP big who looked pretty good in the first round last year of the NBA playoffs when the Philadelphia 76ers shocked the Boston Celtics and the basketball world in overcoming a 3-1 series deficit to eliminate the C's in the first round, which, by the way, precipitated a trade of Jaylen Brown from Boston to Philadelphia. They basically upgrade Paul George, that part-time basketball player and full-time podcaster. They turned him into Jaylen Brown, who was All-NBA's second team last year and finished 6th in league-wide MVP vote. He was top 5 in scoring as well. So the Philadelphia 76ers, with the best backcourt in basketball, and if He can get on the floor for roughly half the regular season and all of the playoffs. One of the 2 or 3 best bigs in the game. That team already sounds pretty damn super to me if you drop the geriatric James into the core of it.
Now, like I said, it all right. So the situation with LeBron James possibly going to Philly, LeBron James, if he's not about, like winning to him is secondary. If he can be in a situation where he win, that's cool. But LeBron James is more so about the money and controlling the narrative, right? And so and this whole thing with all these different players and all these different teams is to throw people off of the real to really be a distraction. LeBron James' main issue is money here. All throughout his, well, for at least the last past 10 years, LeBron James has been able to get the max from every team and every contract that he could get. He's been able to max out, and so he's used to a certain amount of like a certain amount of money coming in. But now that his career is winding down, he needed this money. And I'll probably go into this in other videos because I'm doing some investigating. But LeBron James, as far as like his businesses are not really all that stable. And LeBron James has been trying to support these businesses. Only business that's really doing really all that is good is a clutch, right? And that's because LeBron James, their number one client, then they do have a long client list. But if you look at their client list, if you go look up their client list for clutch, a lot of the big name guys who are on there are going to be aging out and leaving the league, right? And so they haven't been able to replace those guys. Like for instance, if you have 10 guys going out, like within the next 2 or 3 years, you got 10 big name superstars leaving your client list, then you need to replace them with at least 10. And so that's not the situation. I know this year in the draft, I think they picked up a couple more guys, but they're gonna have to within the next few years, they're gonna have to pick up to maintain where their business is, a few more big names, right? So it's all about money with LeBron James. He's not really concerned about winning. It's been a while since LeBron James have really been concerned about winning. It's more so about stats and money, stat padding. He can control the stat pad, the winning. He's not gonna put that extra effort into to win. And that's part of the problem why LeBron James found himself in the position that he's in now is because he didn't perform on the court the way he needed to in order to win.
You also have the Cleveland Cavaliers, who has been largely suspected to be the front runner to win over LeBron James in this free agency period. Well, they went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. They have, of course, in place already Donovan Mitchell, who was second team All-NBA last year, first team All-NBA the year before. Of course, perennial All-Star caliber James Harden in the backcourt as well. And Evan Mobley, who is no slouch. Remember that last year, he was second team All-NBA, first team All-NBA defense, and won Defensive Player of the Year. Well, yes, that team is sounding pretty super as well if you drop LeBron James into the middle of that lineup. Again, a team that was in the Eastern Conference Finals just a year ago. And then there is, of course, the Miami Heat. LeBron has been kicking the tires and sniffing around, potentially taking his talents back to South Beach for a second stint there. And yes, that roster is a bit more of a work in progress. We still don't know exactly what the final product is going to look like. Pat Riley is still tinkering and trying to fill out that lineup. But we do know at the top of it, the head of the snake will be Giannis Antetokounmpo, who, when that guy is healthy, is still arguably a top 2 league-wide player. I mean, how much more help does this guy need? Well, in the case of LeBron James, of course, the answer is always more, because a report now coming out from Yahoo Sports, which was authored by Kevin O'Connor, well, he is making the suggestion that the reason LeBron James is dragging this decision on is because he is waiting to see if one of those 3 aforementioned suitors that I just named, that being the Philadelphia 76ers, Miami Heat, and Cleveland Cavaliers, might potentially be able to work out a trade for either, or hell, why not both, of Anthony Davis or Kyrie Irving. And of course, LeBron James has played famously with both of those players. Both of those guys helped LeBron get a championship ring outside of Dwayne Wade and the Miami Heat. Of course, Kyrie Irving and LeBron famously winning that 2016 NBA championship, overcoming a 3-1 series deficit against the 73-9 win Golden State Warriors. Yeah, you remember that championship, the one that was allegedly for Cleveland, according to LeBron.
Cleveland! This is for you!
But just a few short weeks after capturing that title, LeBron let us all know that it was really all for him, and that he thought that winning that series, in fact, made him the greatest player of all time.
That one right there made me the greatest player of all time.
And that is despite the heavy lifting Kyrie Irving did, not just in that NBA Finals series against the Warriors, but for that entire postseason, a playoff run where LeBron James averaged 26 points per game in the playoffs, while Kyrie Irving was averaging 25 points per game. And then, of course, Anthony Davis helped the self-proclaimed king win his right now fourth and final NBA championship, at least final to this point, that coming in the 2020 NBA playoffs, famously played out on the Disney campuses in Orlando, Florida, the bubble ring. Well, in that playoff run, Anthony Davis and LeBron James both averaged 28 points per game. Looking at Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis's production for LeBron James in those two rings, hell, he wouldn't even be getting credit for those two rings if his name was Kobe Bryant. People would be saying that he was carried to those two rings. LeBron, of course, gets all of the credit and all of the respect for those rings.
And I want my day.
Yeah, I think, like I said, with Kyrie Irving hasn't really been all that healthy as of late, and nor has Anthony Davis, right? But all of this to me is just smoke and mirrors. It's more so about money. I think if LeBron James can get a 2-year deal from either one of these teams that's on the list, LeBron he'll go there. But I do think that because Cleveland has the inside track, in my opinion, because like I said, Ohio, that's where LeBron James is from. But it's not about LeBron James trying to set up the best deal. LeBron James is all about him, and it's always been about him throughout his career. So he's willing to throw anybody name in there. He talked about Steph Curry, Draymond Green, possibly teaming up with them. Then he talked about teaming up with Giannis. Then he talked about teaming up with with Philly, Tyrese Maxey and Jaylen Brown. So he really don't. It's not about the people, or like which team give him the best opportunity to win. He mainly wants or going to need a 2-year deal, because LeBron James, he needs this money to help like some of his business projects that he has going on, and so that's what LeBron James is into. That's what it's more so about money and LeBron James staying relevant, and so he's dragging this out to see what team can give him the best deal. He don't care if he play with Kyrie, he don't care if he play with Anthony Davis, Tyrese Maxey. It's all about it's all about money and relevance. So that's my take on it. I think everything else, like I said, is a smoke and mirrors. And so yeah, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, I'm gonna check you all out in the next video. Peace.